Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Blue Army podcast. Not the way we want it to be going into Christmas, Dale.
No, not at all. Two bad results. Two not particularly brilliant performances. I thought today was a lot better than last week. Certainly did. But on another day, Whitby Town would have scored 5 or 6 today because they had so many chances. It was an eventful game. It was a good game if you were neutral, wasn't it? It was a
said on commentary.
It was a decent game. But I think, as Simon Russell just said to us a few minutes ago, if you want to be up in those playoff places, you've got to come here and win.
Yeah, roll your sleeves up and get on with it.
Yeah, because for all the chances Whitby created, I didn't think they were that good. I thought it was more games that weren't very good.
No, exactly. To be honest, they bypassed the midfield. Our midfield's been quite a strong point of ours, especially on the unbeaten run that we'd been on prior to last Saturday. The midfield had been getting on the ball, been able to break forward, with young Middleton anchoring the midfield and being able to spray the passes. Going forward, Trinity have been good today, apart from into the final third. But in terms of Whitby going forward, they bypassed the midfield very quickly, got it up to the front men who were very clever, and the little balls around the corner were causing all sorts of problems for Trinity.
I totally agree. I feel that Trinity's midfield play going forward was excellent. There's some nice little one-touch passes and that, considering how poor the pitch was. And then that final ball was a letdown, or that final cross, or more often than not, Whitby just seemed, instead of playing it round, just seemed to go straight through, didn't they? And it was just I think it was an off day. I don't think we can blame the midfield for the defeat. It was just an off day for the midfield defensively, because offensively, until that final moment, I thought they were good still. And Maguire and Stainfield, there's quite a few last-ditch tackles on there.
I said, to be honest, that we were defending at 6s and 7s, which, yes, we were, but I don't think that was to say that we defended badly as a defensive unit. I just think at times they were overexposed, particularly in the first half. There was the one where Maguire got back really well to
on the line,
when it should have been, but inside 30 seconds Whitby could have been in front. But it wasn't bad defending from the defence. But as Lee Sinnott said to us previously, we defend as a team, we attack as a team, and everybody's got to be in it together.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all of it was down to midfield. I think at times, probably particularly in the second half, I thought defensively Trinity looked a little bit leggy. But then it's one of them games, wasn't it, where they were pushing more forward to try and get in the game, and there were going to be chances.
It started to open up a little bit in front of us.
Yeah, exactly, and I think both Lee Sinnott and Simon Russell said to us that they could have been carried on playing all night. They'd not scored. It had a real frustrating feeling about it this afternoon, and it's just can you keep saying that it's one of them days? That's twice now in 2 games. It's a little bit worrying.
I've been accused of saying that a few times in commentary, but Trinity have just struggled to get going, and at times it was a little bit like that today. Yeah,
and that always confuses me. You've had a week to get yourself up for the game.
Yep, to forget about that, to draw the line
to put right the wrongs. And now they've left more questions that need answering instead of answering the questions from last week, if that makes sense.
And that almost puts added pressure on you, and asks more of the players. How can we respond? How can we react to it? And how can we come back stronger?
Exactly, and I'm sure they will. They've done it before already this season. They've had a couple of bad runs, and they've sorted that out. I don't think this formation is the answer, in my opinion. I'm not a tactician by any means, but we were discussing this earlier, weren't we? That
away from home, it has worked for us to a certain extent, but it hasn't worked today.
It hasn't worked today. It's certainly not been working at home. I just feel Ash Worsfold in particular is very isolated. And he's not the kind of striker that can play as a isolated striker. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them that if he's got somebody with him, he'll make the runs, he'll this, that and the other, and he's a clinical goal scorer. But 4-3-3, like we say, has been working well away. They've won them 3 away games in a row. I mean, the game at Scarborough, I keep saying this, I thought it was the best performance all season.
Yeah, last time we were up in this neck of the woods.
Exactly. I don't know. I think beating Whitby 4-1 a month ago would have. You'd think they'd have thought, and maybe that motivated Whitby more so,
and possibly the overconfidence. which is again
possibly
something we spoke about with the management, that you want the players to be confident. Possibly sometimes that comes into it, but you're a little bit too overconfident.
It's so hard to find that balance, isn't it? If teams are low on confidence, they're not performing. If they're overconfident, it must be nearly impossible to get the balance right all the time. But Whitby will have seen that they, in that 4-1 back at the Northern, they weren't, for patches in that game, they weren't bad, were they?
Problems, didn't they?
Yeah, and it was only, I think, Trinity got better as the game went on, which they did today.
But we created a lot of chances, didn't we? And we didn't take them. Today we struggled to really create clear-cut chances. We put dangerous balls into the box, but possibly got our runs slightly.
Yeah. Also, we were saying, weren't we? They only seemed to go down one side. I thought Alex Byrne ran all. He ran all game.
Shout out to him. He's done really well.
He's not a right back.
He's played it right back.
He was the threat, even though he's a right back. It was him. Yes, not all of his crosses were spot on, but that's law of averages. Even the Premier League players don't get all the crosses spot on.
But you knew.
But it was all just down the right hand side, and why? I don't know why they didn't come down the left. Looking how
Brandon
well
Horton's done so well since he's been here.
Exactly. I don't know if they decided to target the left back at Whitby. Maybe I don't know. But
we had a lot of joy down there. But
he did. He got in some good positions, and I think Lee Sinner said to us, didn't he, that he didn't think the movement was good enough in the box, or but
near post run, far post run. But when it's Ash that's got to make those runs, or you're relying on the midfield to get up there.
When you've only got one striker, and you've got two centre halves, they're just going to mark him out of the game, aren't they? It's so hard for a striker when you're being marked by one defender, let alone two. But
before the game, when I was speaking to the Whitby press, they were sort of saying, well, that looks like a 4-2-2 formation. Just the number of centre-backs and centre midfielders they had on the pitch, they couldn't see anything in terms of width, so they were just happy to put numbers in the box, numbers in front of the ball, and it gave us a lot to break down. Which
they did effectively, didn't they?
So they've obviously come with a game plan.
For saying lack of chances created, how many goalmouth scrambles were there where the ball didn't drop right?
Because they had so many men in the box.
They did, but again, I keep going back to this interview. Simon Russell said to us, didn't he, that on another day it falls to one of them and they tap it in. There is a little bit of unlucky, but no, Whitby deserved the win. And obviously, we had the two big talking points then, the back pass for the goal.
Yeah.
My view was it was a clear back pass, and I was quite confused when John Stewart picked it up.
Yeah, I could see why he picked it up and didn't think he would have picked it up if it wasn't without good reason.
We were saying at half time, weren't we, that John Stewart, he could have done, you were saying what your keepy up is, and he had so much time, so he clearly thought it was just an error of judgment, and he has been one of the best players for Cambridge this season. You can't, and they're a little bit unlucky because I thought the free kick was excellent. They took it really well. You think
they did.
There's only like a certain part of the goal he could put it,
and that's where he put it.
It was a really good finish. You don't see many of them, so I doubt teams practice them indirect free kicks that often because you don't see very many, do you? And the red card. This is what we've been.
Well, just go back before we get to the red card. Just look at that sort of, the back pass. I could see why it had done. I've had a look at the highlights, which will be done at some point tomorrow, so everybody else can make their own decisions. It does look like their player has poked the ball through Joe Maguire's legs to play the ball back. It clearly hasn't, but that is obviously what has gone on.
So you've said that, and that's the camera view. Where I was a bit further down, I thought it was a blatant back pass from Joe Maguire. So the fact that we've got different views of it, surely the referee maybe could have given the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. He's not had any help, really, I don't think the assistant referee's flagged anything to sort of give an indication of what he thinks has happened. Whereas maybe you'd think, yes, the referee's assistant would have given some indication to help him make that decision. It's not happened. So
it never
again,
does, does it? Never
no,
does.
but you do look for sort of that as a bit of a backup, maybe. But in the ensuing melee, all the Trinity players have turned their backs and gone upfield. John Stewart is stood there with the ball in his hand.
We've disagreed on this one, haven't we?
Faced by two players who want to get on with the ball and take a quick free kick.
I get where you're coming from, and the rule is obviously you give them the ball, they can put the ball down straight away
and play. And it's two forwards versus John Stewart.
I just think the fact he picked it up and booted it in the stand was a rash error of judgment, in my opinion. I think John Stewart's fantastic, I do. But I know
I think he's made that decision.
I know what you're saying. And at the end of the day, I don't think we'd be talking about this if the second yellow hadn't happened.
No.
But to me, there are other things he maybe could have done and got away with. But I don't know. The referee, I think Lee Sinnott said referees sometimes decide they don't like, not certain players are getting to them more than others, and I think John Stewart was probably one of them.
But I think that's also, yes, we've praised the goal, said it's worked well. Again, if he's not on a yellow card, he possibly defends the free kick a little bit differently. From my point of view, goalkeeper to no great standard, I'd have had 10 players behind me on the line, and I'd have been the one charging the ball.
Do you know that's often what teams do? I was saying to Jeremy while he was filming that they'll have everybody on the line now, because that's what teams tend to do, don't they?
And the goalkeeper can charge it, but because he's on a yellow, he charges out, goes to close the angle, their player has an extra touch, goes past him, goes down, penalty, he's sent off there and then. So because he's picked up the yellow for kicking the ball away, that changes the tactics straight away.
I'm not sure on that one. I'm not sure because I don't know. I think it's always down to a guy. You can still come out and charge it, or you could still have everybody on the line and just somebody get whacked with the ball, won't they?
But he has put it top corner, hasn't he? Really,
it was a really good. I think I think we're probably looking too deep into this. I thought it was a really good free kick, good finish, well worked. Because if you remember also the way he laid it off, it was literally just a tiny touch, wasn't it? Yeah. And I don't think some players had realised he'd actually done it. I thought that was clever. That was really clever, and that's why it ended up going in. It gave. I can't remember who scored. Who scored?
It was a skipper.
Callum something.
Oh no! And you put the team sheet away.
It gave the Whitby Town skipper the just that little bit more space between the players and the. But it was a good finish. I thought he played well for them today. I thought Lewis Maloney on the wing was excellent. I was quite pleased when he went off. But the other talking points, so John Stewart's second yellow card.
Yeah, 5 minutes of stoppage time indicate it. Trinity knocking on the door, not quite getting in. Stainfield winning everything up top, going forward. Trinity win a free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box, our own 18-yard box, and John Stewart and Harry Middleton preparing to take the free kick. John Stewart says, "I'll take it, go forward." John Stewart picks the ball up and rolls it 10 yards further forward. Referee blows his whistle, runs over and books John Stewart for a second time and sends him off for taking a free kick too far forward.
Yeah,
something I've never seen before.
I haven't. Lee Sinnott said John shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Which, okay, but how many times in a game do you see players doing that?
2 minutes, sir. 2 minutes. Just getting thrown out of the ground.
Get kicked out of the ground. It happens to me nearly every week.
Yeah, happened to you at Witton, didn't it?
Me at Witton. Where else was we asked to leave? I've been asked to leave quite a few. No one likes me. Likes me.
And we don't care.
No, so we'll just wrap this up then, shall we? But no. So you see, how many times a game do you see that? You see it with throw-ins, you see it with free kicks, you see it with everything. Players move forward to try and gain an advantage. Referee, bowed by a bit of the atmosphere as well at the time, decided it was a yellow card. I think it's one of the most ridiculous yellow cards I've ever seen in my life, especially as he was already on a yellow. Referees say they don't like sending players off.
But I think he took great delight in doing that today.
Yeah.
And leaves us without a goalkeeper at the moment for New Year's Day.
That's the biggest downer on it, isn't it?
Yeah, massive player, massive
character
importance to us.
Matlock's going to be a hard game as it is.
And even harder with what's more than likely a rookie goalkeeper. We were very lucky with Marcus Dewhurst when he came in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a case of getting whoever we can get, and especially it's only one game, isn't it? Because you can't appeal 2 yellow cards.
Which makes it more frustrating.
It does.
If we were winning 1-0 and he did it, then yes, you'd say that he was wasting time. But we were urgently trying to get on with play.
Exactly.
But Lee Sinnott summed it up really well. John Stewart doesn't need to pinch 10 yards. He can kick it that far anyway.
I liked that. I thought that was spot on. But so last thing, Grantham next. I won't be there.
Grantham not in great form, but it's a Lincolnshire derby.
Gainsborough aren't in great form, and I think it will kick-start one of the seasons for one of the two teams, and hopefully it's Gainsborough.
And with Trinity just slipping out of a playoff spot
Radio Links to your
today.
head. Hopefully it's a draw. Sorry, draw.
But, you know.
But yeah, who's replaced? Was it Baseford? No. Why have they slipped out? Looking at the other results that I've got in front of me here, is it?
On the page.
Oh, South Shields drew at Lancaster.
Which was a good point for Lancaster.
Yeah. And South Shields, though, away from home, have been iffy.
But they've managed to pick up a point and just dislodged us. And, well, also setting up New Year's Day.
Oh, look at that.
A point,
Matlock 7th.
A point off us.
I'll tell you my one worry, just
Trinity
quickly,
still with the game
is the
in
fact
hand.
that A, the top 4 all won. B, we've been saying all season games, we've got these games in hand. I haven't got them anymore.
No, and now it's level playing field.
Let's
see what happens.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.